This person I'm going to show you here, this is Morgan Armstrong. She is a senior in high school. She just graduated. And she graduated from a school called Tennessee Christian Preparatory School. It's one of those private Christian schools. She's obviously on the basketball team. That's the picture right there. But the reason she is in the news this week is because last month she posted something on Facebook that caused a big stir. And this is what she posted on Facebook. You could see the caption, "Cat's out of the bag," and that's her with her girlfriend. And they're celebrating. I don't know what they're celebrating, but like they're adorable. And they went out somewhere wearing their dresses and they're kissing. It's cute. Like it's the sort of thing high school students post a lot. And so she posted that, "Cat's out of the bag." People now know she's into girls if they didn't know earlier. And this caused a big problem at her school. And here's the thing. The school did not say, "We saw this thing you posted publicly on Facebook and we're going to come after you." They did not do that. What they said later on is that, "We saw something you sent to your friends privately on Snapchat." And this is what she posted on Snapchat for her friends. It's basically a plea to them. "Hey, can you go and like and comment on my post that I just posted, 'Cat's out of the bag'? Go like and comment on my post, guys, because if no one on my socials knew I was gay then, they sure as hell do now." So this is a big thing, to be honest. Also, I'm kind of scared about the Facebook comments because I have some ruthless Trump-supporting Jesus MFs on there. Now let's talk about what that means for a second. What does that last line say? Because I know what it means, and I'm definitely not a teenager, but I can translate that for you. You're posting this on Facebook in a conservative area in Tennessee. Yeah, you're bound to have relatives and community members who are conservative bigots, and they say they're Christian, but what does that actually look like in practice? They think this girl is now going to hell, right? That's why she's putting Jesus in quotation marks, because guess what? She's Christian too. But there's a difference between like the Christians who follow the Jesus who gave the Sermon on the Mount and the Christians who vote for Trump. You know what I mean? And she knows the difference. And so she's saying there's a lot of those Trump supporting Christians who are going to comment. So hey, friends, if you could jump in and leave some comments, maybe set the tone, it would help me out a lot. Somehow, someone in her friend group ratted her out and must have screenshotted this and sent it to the administrators at the school. And so the school found out. So they didn't reference the pictures on Facebook. They referenced that post she made on Snapchat. And they then sent her a letter. And I guess I should show you. They have a student handbook. And this is in the school student handbook. "We believe that any form of sexual immorality, including homosexual behavior, is sinful and offensive to God." So yeah, it's one of those conservative Christian schools. You can be gay, maybe, don't talk about it, but you definitely can't do any gay things. I thought this is why they were going to be mad at her, because she broke the rule about homosexual behavior because she kissed a girl and she posted about it. I assumed that's what this story was all about. I was wrong. I'll show you the letter that they sent to her family. Morgan posted on social media platforms such as Instagram, it was Snapchat, a disparaging remark reflecting the people at Tennessee Christian. The vulgar and disrespectful comment produced the wrong perception of who we are and what we represent, Christ. The comment reflected on the institution, faculty, staff, alumni, and students in the most negative possible way. And due to this conduct, let's stop here for a second. What did she say about Tennessee Christian? I just showed you what she posted. She said, "Hey, friends, can you help me out?" Because what did she say? There were a lot of ruthless Trump-supporting Jesus MFs on there. And Tennessee Christians saw that, and they were like, "You're talking about us." She did not say your name. Again, we all know what she was saying. Like, there are good Christians. They're wrong, but they're good Christians. And then there are the Trumpy bigot Christians. And she separated the two. And this school is like, we saw what you wrote and you're clearly talking about us. No, she wasn't. But if you think she's talking about you, maybe that says something about you, right? Anyway, back to their letter. After they made this claim, look at what they said to her because of what she said about them, even though she said nothing about them. Morgan will not be allowed on campus for the rest of the year. That includes graduation. She cannot graduate with her classmates. She doesn't even get to go to the athletic banquet. She's one of the star basketball players on their team. She couldn't go to the athletic banquet. Then they said, oh, her diploma, yeah, she can't get it at graduation because see above. Oh, we'll mail it to you in a month. Also, she will not comment about the school or anyone associated with the school. If this online slander continues, check this out. Records of posts and messages will be forwarded to colleges and universities. They're going to threaten her college acceptance somewhere by basically going to them and saying, hey, you know that girl you accepted from our school? Let us share with things she posted privately on Snapchat. Like, what the hell? What school goes out of their way to sabotage a student for something like this? Like, if you got accepted to a school and then your school found out you like plagiarized or cheated on your final exam, I understand why the school would be like, hey, colleges we sent recommendation letters to, you should know this update. That is not what happened here. And then finally, they said, we'll send you your diploma in a month. Haha, look at the picture. We got a picture of it. So they sent that to the family. And here's where it gets really interesting because, again, I want to point out, she didn't mention the school or anyone who worked there. She wasn't defamatory. She did not slander them. She wasn't even hostile toward her school. She was talking about like the crazy ass Republican motherfuckers in her family. So I don't know what the big deal was. But because of their overreaction, they went and banned her from graduation, banquets, and getting her diploma and threatened to sabotage her future. Her parents, to their credit, were mad at the school. I was surprised by that. I thought they'd be like, well, Morgan deserved it because of everything she did. No, check this out. What did they say to a local news reporter? Her mother said, I was shocked, and then I went to anger. And she's talking about the school. Her mom was mad at the school because how dare you treat our daughter like that, right? And I just want to reiterate, the school did not comment on her same-sex relationship, even though deep down, everyone seems to know that's what this is all about, right? They focused on her honest admission that conservative bigots wouldn't like it, which they took as a personal insult for reasons I still do not understand. But because of that interpretation, they were threatening to punish her with whatever leverage they had. Now, here's another interesting thing. According to that rule book that says two things. One, homosexual behavior is forbidden at this school. And also, you violated our social media policy by defaming us online. The social media policy also says in their handbook that if this is your first time offense, the punishment you get is a 1-day in-school suspension, not banning someone from graduation and refusing to give her a diploma. So they went from 0 to 60 at the first sign of pushback. And by doing that, the school was ignoring their own stated rules about how to treat students. So guess what Morgan and her family are now doing? Oh, it's glorious. They just filed a lawsuit against the Christian school for punishing her for doing nothing wrong. It is fantastic. This lawsuit says very clearly, nothing in Morgan's... Oh, let me go ahead and find it. Here we go. Look at number 35. Nothing in Morgan's public post was vulgar, disrespectful, or slanderous, and the post does not refer to the defendant in any respect. That is unbelievable. And then what else do they say? Instead, where is this here? Instead, number 39, Morgan's statement describing some ruthless Trump-supporting Jesus MFs referred to members of Morgan's own family with whom she was connected on social media, people who, in Morgan's view, profess but do not practice Christian principles of love, acceptance, and compassion. That's what Christianity is, right, everybody? This is the section that kind of boils down what this is all about right here. Even assuming for the sake of argument, I love this lawyer, by the way, even assuming for the sake of argument that Morgan actually violated the defendant's social media policy, she did not, and was not disciplined pretextually for being gay, she was. Because Morgan had never before been disciplined for violating the social media policy, the maximum consequence that the defendant could permissibly impose for a first-time social media policy violation was minor, a one-day in-school suspension. Nevertheless, in its haste to suspend Morgan for being gay, because we know what this is about, the defendant violated its own disciplinary policy and summarily imposed a long-term suspension, more than 10 days instead. As a result, Morgan was forbidden from attending school from that point forward, and she was not permitted to take final exams. And why does that matter? The school said, just go home. We don't want you here. You don't get to take final exams, but you'll just get the grades you get. I learned this later. Morgan's grades were, let's say, I'm making this up. Let's say her grade was like at a B+. She wanted to earn the A. Well, the only chance you have to earn the A is to really nail that final exam. So by not letting her take the final exam, she lost the opportunity to improve her GPA that one last time. And so she wanted to take the finals to show that she actually knew the material, and the school was not giving her that opportunity. I thought that says a lot about who she is, right? So you have to wonder, what was the school thinking it would accomplish by punishing one of their best students for something so harmless? Because instead of giving her the send-off she deserved, they ruined what should have been some of the highlights of her high school experience. So this lawsuit ends with a request that if the school loses, they have to remove the suspension from her record, let her take the final exams, give her the damn diploma, stop threatening her college prospects, and pay all the legal costs associated with it. And the school did not respond yet formally to the lawsuit, but they issued a press release. This is great. They issued a press release recently that said this: "We firmly reject the misleading allegations outlined in a recent lawsuit. As of 11 a.m. on May 22nd, we have yet to be served with process for the alleged lawsuit." So maybe you're making it all up. The administration and board of trustees expressed deep disappointment over the inaccuracies contained in the alleged file. What inaccuracies, you guys? What did she make up that you think is unfair? Despite this supposed legal dispute, Tennessee Christian remains fully committed to delivering Morgan Armstrong's diploma. Yeah, you're going to send it to her a month later. It's not the same thing. Listen, I have a diploma somewhere. I don't know where. I'd never hung it up. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. It's a piece of paper. The fun thing about getting the diploma was crossing the stage during graduation with my friends, and so my family could see me crossing that stage. The paper did not matter, and they deprived her of that. We wish Morgan Armstrong the very best as she continues her academics in college, which, by the way, they want to sabotage, if you recall. So the irony in all this, again, Morgan wasn't talking about the school when she posted her message, but by punishing her for nothing, the administrators have basically confirmed what critics of Christian schools often say, which is that these places are nothing but hotbeds of bigotry. They have no love for LGBTQ students. They pressure students to suppress their emotions. They make a big deal over shit like this while ignoring problems that are much more serious. It's kind of amazing that any private school would withhold a student's diploma for expressing genuine concern about the inevitable reactions to a relationship than just letting it slide because reasonable people don't actually give a damn about any of this stuff. Now, the silver lining so far is that there has been a lot of positive support from Morgan. News outlets are covering the story. A lot of local news has covered this. And if you just explain neutrally what is going on here, the school always ends up looking really bad. That's their fault. You know, that's the price you pay when bigotry is your selling point. Another thing I want to show you is that instead of attending graduation, because she wasn't allowed to, Morgan's friends and family held a protest/celebration. That's her picture. There's a graduate. There's a sign, "We are all God's kids." And you have I don't know what flag that one is specifically, but I assume LGBTQ flag. But like they held a celebration in her honor. Good for them. That's really sweet to see. I also want to tell you, I had a chance to talk to Morgan this week over the phone. And I learned even more about her situation than I saw in any of the news articles about it. One, she's amazing. And like, if I were her age, like, I'm sure we would be good friends. But like, the biggest question I had is one I'm sure many of you have as you're watching this segment, which is given the way she is and given the way her family is supportive of her, why the hell would they send her to a private Christian school? Right. And the answer that she told me is that this really has not that much to do with religion. The Christian school, like when she was in middle school, she really wanted to play basketball, but she didn't make the team in middle school at her public school. This Christian school said, hey, if you come to our school, we will give you a small scholarship, a partial scholarship, and you can definitely play for us. And that was a good enough offer that the family said, yeah, that sounds good. Hey, we're Christian after all. Why don't you go to that private Christian school? They weren't thinking about it in terms of culture wars. They were just saying, well, if you can't play basketball at the public school, but you can at the private school, let's just send you to the private school. Plus, they're giving you money to go there. So that made sense to them. And she told me while her family is Christian, they never saw their values clashing with the school until now. And I asked her how she felt about Christianity now, after all this stuff has gone down. And she said, and I'm quoting here, this situation definitely didn't help. I also wanted to know, and I asked Morgan this, why did you post the picture of you and your girlfriend now, as opposed to like a month or two later after you graduated when they couldn't do anything to you, right? Like she posted it maybe a month or two after she turned 18, but she also posted it a month before she graduated. Why not just wait? And she had an answer for that. She did that on purpose. She has said she has known for years now that she's attracted to other women, and she knows her school disapproves of that. And she told me, I didn't want the fear to hold me down anymore. And plus, she added, her straight friends post pictures with their partners all the time, so why can't she? And that's also why she filed the lawsuit. If the school's not going to change its position on homosexuality, but she doesn't want them to target any other student like they're doing with her. And maybe this lawsuit will scare them away from doing that. And she said she has gotten a lot of messages and calls of support from former students at the school who are now openly LGBTQ. And she says she wants that continuous cycle of shame and hate to end. Not all of it's supportive, though. I asked her what her friends at school have been telling her and saying to her about all this. And she said she hasn't really talked to them since all this went down. She said a lot of them blocked her on social media. And part of me thought, are they doing it because they know the school is spying on them and they don't want the school to know they're friends with Morgan? But no, apparently they have not reached out privately as well. Her classmates that she's known for so many years apparently want nothing to do with her. Some of them anyway. The irony, she said, is that a lot of them have known she's gay for years now. It's only when this story went viral that they decided to cut ties with her. I also asked about her girlfriend, how her girlfriend is doing, and she said her girlfriend Sophie is still right by her side. It's got to be hard to watch your partner go through all this, but she said they're doing great and she's super supportive. I did ask her also what she's going to do for college, and she said she wasn't sure. She didn't know where she would end up in college, but she knows herself. She's like, I probably won't be playing basketball there. For her sake, I hope wherever she ends up, whatever she does, she is somewhere where she's accepted and not treated as some kind of outcast. And I wanted to show you one last thing, which is if you go to the school's Facebook page, actually didn't check this. I'm going to check this right now. If you went, yeah, it's still there. If you go to the school's Facebook page, one of the most recent posts they have on their public Facebook page is this one from February, and it's honoring their senior athletes, and Morgan is right there, second from the left. The school has no problem promoting Morgan when it makes them look good. But the second she points out that there are racist, like bigoted, not racist, just bigoted Christians out there, they decided she was their enemy. So anyway, I'm very curious how this lawsuit turns out. We'll see. But yeah, I'll stop there for a bit. What questions we got here? Why are school administrators worried about DMs that are not bullying? I don't know. And again, it wasn't targeting anybody. She just said, theoretically, there are some conservative bigots out there. Can you help me, you guys? And this school's like, you're bullying us. It's like, nope, didn't mention your name, didn't even refer to you. But yeah, I don't get it. She only posted the truth. I know, maybe that's what the school's so mad about. It's a private Christian school. They hate telling kids the truth. There's no hate like Christian love. That should really be the motto of this school. And they can all have little posters like the slogan on the board outside the building. I love it when Christian parents support and love their queer kids. No kidding. I was super surprised by that in the best possible way of how supportive her parents were. I mean, both of her parents, their names are on this lawsuit as well. They are suing along with her. She's 18. She could do it too. But all three of them are suing the school over this. It's great. I believe that is the lesbian pride flag. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. These are schools that are getting taxpayer dollars. I don't know if they're getting taxpayer dollars. I know there are voucher programs. Tennessee, I know, has passed a bill about vouchers and letting people have it. I don't know how much money this school gets from taxpayer funds, so I won't go into that.